Hello everyone, welcome to another replay on the IC Replays channel. This time we're going to be commentating a 1v1 in the tournament preliminary games. This is going to be Kevin versus Kiki, obviously two of the better players in the Impossible Creatures community at the moment. I am obviously Will, otherwise known as Fake Will, for all you non-believers. With me today I have Brandon, or Bchamp. Say hello.
Hello.
Bchamp is the host of the tournament, and he's done a bloody fine job, might I add, including all this renaming the replay, so that's by the by. So we're just going to go ahead and get into the game now. So the map being played is Vacation, which is the very typical 1v1 map. It's normally used in most 1v1 matches and most competitive 1v1s throughout the history of IC. So in this game we have Kiki in the orange and Kevin, or Blother, in the purple. So right off the bat, Brandon, what do you think about the build orders in this game?
So this is definitely Kevin's normal build order. Is pretty standard. He sends an early scout, which is I think a little bit unique. Definitely, you don't see new players doing something like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of those things that you have to like. It's one of the things that comes with skill, I guess, and experience. But scouting's super important in IC, I think.
He's able to micro it around, and really, with the quick scout that he has, able to analyze what Kiki's doing, which. Kiki definitely has a later rod. We're already a minute into the game, and he just completed his rod. And Kiki focused on building a lot more henchmen early in the game. Although, in the end, it seems like the two build orders add a minute. They have the same number of henchmen, same number of rods.
Yeah, that's right. That's something we looked at in the private game. So
yeah.
So obviously, the first thing Kevin did that by he scouted so how many rods, so how many hench Kiki had, and I was going to try and fence off this expo. Which means he's going to isolate the resources so that he has the advantage in the game. Kiki's obviously wise to that and sends a henchman to go and follow this hench.
And fencing is a very common strategy also on this map, I feel.
Oh yeah, massively. And the other thing it does, even though Kevin's fence isn't built here, just by having a henchman walk over it, you get the information that there's someone coming or there's someone around.
So it's really important. You'll see the skilled players also just keep a really heavy eye on the mini map.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is very easy to miss if you're not used to looking down there.
Yeah, and speaking of minimap, we have Kevin taking the first expansion. Kevin's also just about level 2. How fast Kiki? They're very similar position in terms of where they are at level 2. But you'll also notice that Kiki gets
that gen much quicker.
Right. Yeah, the early gen, and also the third rod as well.
But on the contrary, Kevin does have the Expo, which is a coal advantage.
Right, yeah, it's a big one. And although Kiki has this little thing, it just doesn't. It's not this. It doesn't hold the same power in the game as having one of these big sort of South Expo or the North Expo up here. Another feature you'll see is Kiki getting that a next generator already as well, which is huge because Kevin doesn't have any yet.
Yeah, still only 2 rods down there.
No, we missed a little bit of action coming
failed. Yeah, he had a failed attempt at fencing in the creature chamber that Kevin made. And Kevin's just sent up 2 zebra sticks to scouts see what was going on up north.
Yeah, I mean, because they have camo, they can sort of pop in and out without giving up their position. So Kevin's able to see that Kiki's making a lot of melee units, these streaky bacons or warthog tarantulas as they are. And reactively, Kevin can then make zebra frogs, which are obviously one of the better level 2 ranges at the game at the moment, anyway.
And you can see that great micro that Kevin has. I've noticed he has a really good micro with pulling back his zebra frogs.
Right. I mean, you'd expect to see him pull these back now, but similarly, Kiki's micro is pretty good there as well. He individually sent 1 warthog to each frog, which engaged them in melee, and that should limit the damage.
And this is also really keen on Kevin's part, being able to notice that Kiki had henchmen over there.
Right. Oh, I missed something. There's something I want to point out in the game, which is obviously Kevin building this fence again. The reason he built this fence is he saw 1 henchman come from Kiki. He came up along this north. You'll see my mouse on the screen, and he came down the beach side or in the water. The reason he did that is because this henchman is going to take this next generator in the game. Now, generators are super important again because you can get that electricity input, and you can convert that with the workshop into extra coal. So he's really going for that resource advantage.
And you can see Kevin also here pushing Soundbeam Towers, a little bit more of a forward position, which is very close to where Kiki has his creature chamber, which gives Kevin a huge advantage here for newly created creatures.
Now you'll see that the micro coming into play from Kevin there, not excellently well done, but these so just misclicking it there, but Kiki was able to bring out artillery straight away, which is interesting.
Yeah, and perhaps pulling back the zebra frogs just far enough so that the
outside of range,
they have oxes had to come forward, the archer fish had to come forward inside the range of the soundbeam tower.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't noticed that actually. You'll see the deflect come into play here a little bit. One more hit, 2 more hits from that zebra frog would have. But you'll see Kevin starts microing, so his range don't attack the deflect units as well, which I hadn't noticed originally. All of his range units are attacking things, not the deflect, except this one actually.
And you can see now Kevin is bringing out some horns with those bull walking sticks, and
that's right.
Targeting them to attack the high defense shield bug.
Yeah. Now I do want to shift the attention over here again. Kiki's obviously made this water chamber, so a water chamber is essential if you have any amphibious units, which Kiki obviously is about to bring out, or will shortly bring out. I think Kiki's...
What's Kiki doing at his lab right now?
Yeah,
so Kiki's researching level 4.
He's near enough done. Where's Kevin in regards to that? Yeah, I don't think Kevin's even started level 4, so this could be like... You'd expect this to have quite a big impact on how the game turns out. Kiki's obviously taken the research advance, or he's taken that as an advantage. Something we talked about earlier was that it arguably isn't an advantage because he just has no creatures and no henchmen, no way of making enough creatures to repel this attack that obviously Kevin has over.
He's relying solely on those generators, and I think, in my opinion, he's went level 4 just too early.
I agree,
and I think this might have been what cost him the game, or at least...
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, Kevin wins this game, sorry. Normally you would expect, obviously Kiki has 1 chamber, 2 chamber, 3 chamber, and a water chamber. You'd expect him to be producing units at all of these to really maximise how quickly he can get out units. You've got to assume that he has little to no resources, because all his henchmen were killed when Kevin attacked level 3. So yeah, you're right. I think
in converting, you do lose. There's a slight deficit when you convert.
Yeah, you get 80% of your resources back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is quite an interesting play as well. I think Kevin attacks this north expansion point, which forces Kiki to move his units from his lab over to the expansion. That is when Kevin moves in for the kill. This is a relatively decent sized force. The Chameleon Lion's obviously going to do the most amount of damage there. The Bull Sticks really being there to soak up. That regen high HP really comes into effect. And charge is super useful.
I just noticed these Chameleon Lions, they're not the ones with camo. Also, usually I see them with the Chameleon tail.
Yeah, camo makes them really expensive electricity wise.
Yes. So that I think I've played with Avi a lot, and so he uses the camo with these.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think it's more been this patch sort of thing, how expensive they've got. But you'll see here, this is pretty much GG or good game. Kiki has no way of fighting back this force, and I'm pretty sure he self-destructs his lab anyway in a second. But that's really going down. Kevin has the advantage, and that's all she wrote. That's the end of the game. Now before we go, I just want to pop into the Iron Builder and just show off some of the units that were used. So we saw... what was Kiki using at level 2? Warthog Tarantulas, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So these are pretty good. Herding's not very common at level 2, so if you can get a herding unit at level 2, often they're quite good.
And the defense is still pretty high for a level 2 unit.
Oh yeah, that's good. And they have really good melee as well at level 2, which is pretty good. Pretty good. What else?
So what do you think about adding the disorienting barbs to the scene? How much does that add?
24 electricity. I just don't think that's worth it. And it also wouldn't have come into play that game until obviously level 3. Typically, you don't see too much pack or herding at level 2, so oftentimes it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
The other thing I think we'll show off is the walking stick bowl, which is what Kiki. No, it's what Kevin was using, and he had a lot of them out, and they just did so much damage. Yeah, they're super cheap, high HP, charge, regen, horns. Yeah, they were really effective that game. So I think the MVP, well, most valuable unit. What would you say, Brandon?
I would say it's probably these bowls. They did all the work once they were brought out to even taking on Kiki's level 4s once Kiki did hit level 4.
Yeah, you know what? I'd agree. Anyway, and on that note, I think I'm going to end the replay here. We have more replays coming in soon. We're obviously in the middle of a tournament going on right now. And hopefully, yeah, more content. So, yeah, I hope you
Thanks
enjoyed.
for watching.
And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.